She didn't answer many questions, but even the ones she did, I don't know that we can believe her. Because remember what happened in the first 2 days after the assassination attempt on President Trump. The Secret Service said it was absolutely false that President Trump's detail asked for additional resources. And Secretary Mayorkas said it's unequivocally false that they asked for additional resources. But guess what happened, Sean? 5 days after that, the Secret Service said, well, there were actually some instances where we turned down the request that came from President Trump's detail. Well, that's a 180-degree change. So they told us something that was not true in the days right after this attack on the president and changed that story 5 days later. How can we believe anything this individual says? So that was, to me, the biggest takeaway is I don't trust what she says, and I think Jamie's right. I think the country sees what needs to happen here.
Okay, but I know for a fact that there's going to be a paper trail, and you went down this road really hard trying to get an answer. There's going to be a paper trail that shows that requests were made by the Trump team that were denied again and again. How do you justify that?
Yeah, I want to know how many times they asked for additional resources. I want to know how many of those happened after the Secret Service and our government was put on notice that Iran was trying to kill President Trump. I think those are pretty important questions, and she would not give us answers to those. So I think that is critical. I also want to know all the before questions. How in the heck was he not given the resources he needed? How in the heck were buildings? There's a finite number of buildings that needed to be secured. How come they weren't? It wasn't a huge number. 2, 3, 4 buildings had to be secured. And then I want to know what happened in that critical 5 minutes. 6:09, the shooter is identified as a bad guy. 6:10, the message is sent to the counter snipers. 6:11, the bad guy shoots President Trump and others. 6:12, the sniper takes out the bad guy. 6:14, the president is escorted off the stage by Secret Service. What happened in that 5 minutes, that critical 5 minutes? What happened second by second in there? That's what we need to know to figure out so that this does not happen again.